Hello, fellow hair artists. It's time to talk hair, beauty, and the business behind it all. I'm Kitty Youngquist, and I am your host for Beyond the Shears in the 406. The idea for this podcast came to me when I realized just how much we're all craving connection in this industry, especially here in Montana. We're a huge state with wide open spaces, and while that's part of our charm and what makes us beautiful, it also means that our cities are spread out. And sometimes so are we as hair artists. I don't know if this is true everywhere, but in Missoula, I felt that our artists aren't as connected as they could be to each other. We each have so much talent, heart, and creativity, but there hasn't always been a clear way to bring that all together, and I wanted to help bridge that gap. There's also been a big shift towards solo suites, and let me just say, I think that can be an incredible path for many artists. But with that independence, sometimes comes isolation. I've heard from stylists who feel like they're creating beautiful work, but missing that sense of community and collaboration. That's where this podcast comes in. I wanted to create a space where we could come together, not just to celebrate the art that we make, but to share ideas, support one another, and grow stronger as business owners. Because as much as I love the creative side, I know I'm not just an artist. I'm also a CEO. And let's be honest, sometimes those two parts of me don't get along very well. There's the part of me that just wants to stay in the flow and dream up beauty. And then there's the part of me that's checking budgets, tracking metrics, and making sure we're being about smart growth. I've learned that I can't ignore either one of these two sides of my personality if I truly want to thrive in this business. So this podcast is about full artistry and strategy, freedom and structure, expression and education. I'm still fairly new to this podcast, but even in these early episodes, I've already learned more than I could have ever anticipated. Isn't it funny how life works? You start something with one intention, and then it opens up a whole new part of yourself you didn't even know was waiting to be explored. I've always had a dream of owning a salon. That dream has changed shape many, many times over the last 34 years I've spent behind the chair. I came close once in 2007. I was literally one day away from signing a lease to open a salon in California. I had the plan, the location, everything was ready. And then my ex-husband walked in and told me he got a promotion and we were moving to Salt Lake City. Just like that, the dream was gone, or at least delayed. What I didn't know at the time was that it would be pushed all the way back to 2023. Even when I started working at Fabric in 2015, I had no idea that I would end up owning it. My dream had shifted to something more focused and intimate. I envisioned a small extension boutique with just 3 chairs, just me and a couple other passionate artists doing luxury color and extensions in a peaceful space. So when Lisa asked me to buy Fabric in 2023, it completely blindsided me. This wasn't the quiet little lounge I had in mind. It was a full-blown, thriving salon with a big team, a big culture, and big expectations. Saying yes meant that I had to grow my capacity in ways that I hadn't prepared for. And then on top of that, I decided to finally create Mirror Mirror, my VIP extension lounge, inside of Fabric. 2 dreams overlapping, 2 brands, 1 vision, all at once. I had to ask myself, am I ready to become the kind of salon owner that this team, this space, and this vision deserves? And I'll be honest, I didn't have the answer right away. So I leaned into what I did have, a network of brilliant, generous people who have walked this path before me. I asked for help, I got mentors, I got honest, and slowly I grew into the role. Looking back, I see now that sometimes your dreams don't show up the way that you expect them to. Sometimes they ask you to level up in ways that feel very uncomfortable, very unfamiliar, and honestly a bit terrifying. But that's how capacity expands. Over the last 2.5 years, I've felt my capacity grow creatively, professionally, and personally. As an artist, you get to choose when you stop growing. You can build a beautiful business and stay right there, exactly where you're comfortable. And there's no shame in that. Your clients will meet you at whatever level you rise to. But you'll know if there's still a voice inside of you whispering, "You're not done yet." This podcast is my way of helping you answer that voice. My hope is that by introducing you to the right people, stylists, educators, financial pros, marketing minds, you'll be able to expand your own dream, however big or small that may be. I want to share real tools, names, websites, Instagram handles, phone numbers, and people you can reach out to. People who can help you grow into the artist and entrepreneur you were always meant to be. Because if I've learned anything over the last few years, it's that growth does not happen alone. It happens in community, with support, and people who believe in your potential, sometimes even before you do. Since this is my very first episode, I haven't had the chance to hear from you yet, but I already know you're out there. Whether you're listening from a small studio suite, working on a busy salon floor, juggling a full book, or just daydreaming about beauty school, I want to start by saying this. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Launching this podcast has been on my heart for a very long time. I've spent months mapping out episodes, interviewing amazing guests, and thinking through how I can serve you best. But I know deep down I couldn't release anything until I introduced myself first, until you had a chance to hear my story, and to understand the heart behind this project. Because this podcast isn't just a collection of interviews or business tips. It's a space that I created intentionally for stylists by a stylist, where we can slow down, connect, talk about what really matters, the art we love, the business we're trying to master, the exhaustion we sometimes feel, and the freedom we're all chasing. And now that the mic is on and this first episode is going out into the world, I want to invite you in. I hope this becomes a podcast you return to when needing clarity or courage. I hope you listen on your drive to the salon and hear something that makes you feel less alone. I hope it challenges you to think bigger. And I hope it reminds you that you're not just a hair artist. You're a business owner, a creator, a leader, and a change maker. I want this to be a two-way conversation. If something I say resonates with you, I hope you'll reach out and message me on Instagram. Share the episode with a friend. Send me a voice memo with your questions. Tag the podcast in your stories and let me know what topics you want to hear more of. Let me know what you're struggling with, what you're celebrating, and what you're still trying to figure out. Because that's how we truly build this thing together. Part of my mission is to be really honest about my own path. In the early days of my career, I made the mistake of pricing based on feelings, not facts. I wasn't calculating my true costs of my time, my products, my experience, or how much I'd invested in education. I was also basing my prices on what Mary in the next chair to me was charging. And here's the thing. Mary and I weren't even the same kind of hair artist. We didn't have the same skill set, clientele, or goals. So it made 0 sense. But I didn't know any better yet. I'd be booked solid and still wondering why my bank account was empty. I had what I call hairstylist math. Like, if I saw a bag I wanted that was $300 more than I should probably spend, I'd just tell myself, if I can get 2 more colors in this week, it'll be fine. It felt logical at the time, but it's actually completely backwards when running a sustainable business. I wasn't treating my business like a business, and it wasn't until I started learning the financial side, the real numbers, that things began to change. When I imagine the future of this show, I picture a community of artists who feel seen, who feel supported, and who believe in the power of community over competition. That's what I'm building here. That's what I want you to be part of. So from my little recording setup here in Missoula, Montana, I want to say thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for listening. And thank you for being a part of this with me from the very, very beginning. We're just getting started. When I'm creating each episode of Beyond the Shears and the 406, let me tell you, it's a full-on labor of love. And I'll be honest, it's also a challenge. There's a lot that goes into each episode. And while it's incredibly fulfilling, it definitely pushes me outside of my comfort zone. I think the biggest thing I wrestle with is making sure the topics are actually relatable. I don't want to create something that feels too polished or too far removed from real life. I want this podcast to sound like you're sitting across from me with a cup of coffee, or better yet, wine, and we're just talking about what's going on in our worlds as hair artists and entrepreneurs. I want it to sound smooth and cohesive. I also have to remind myself not to take it too seriously. Perfectionism has been something I've carried with me for years. I want everything to be right the first time. I want it to look and feel polished, but that's really not how things work, especially when you're doing something new. That's a lesson I learned early in my hair career, and apparently I'm still learning it now. Not everything has to be perfect, especially not on the first try. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to learn in public. One of my favorite things to remind myself is it takes 10,000 reps to become a master at anything. And yet I still expect myself to be amazing from day one. Isn't that wild? Starting this podcast has been such a humbling experience. In fact, I didn't even own a laptop until I was 51 years old. Technology and I, well, let's just say we've had a complicated relationship. Jenny and Aaron tease me all the time because I can barely figure out the front desk computer or our speaker system at work. I'm the one who always ends up needing to be saved from some tech disaster, quite literally. But you know what? I'm not letting that stop me. Every single day I'm learning. Every single day, something new. I'm figuring it out one piece at a time, and I have to give major credit to the people that have been helping me along the way. Eric, my husband, God bless him. He's incredibly patient, and he helps me with the video side of things. Together, we're building a little DIY production setup that actually works. Polly is my tech guy. He's basically my secret weapon. You'll hear from him in one of the future episodes. He's helped me with the back end of things that I just didn't understand. And he teaches me in such a clear, simple way that even I can follow through and figure things out. More importantly, he never makes me feel dumb for asking questions. This podcast isn't perfect, but it's real and it's evolving, and I'm proud of that. So if you've ever wanted to start something new but didn't think you had the tools or you were too late to figure it out, I hope this reminds you that you're never too old, inexperienced, or too untechy to try something new. You just need heart, grit, and a few good people cheering you on. And trust me, I've got both. I'll be totally honest with you. I'm really excited about the conversations we're about to start here on this podcast. I've poured a lot of love and thought into what's coming, and I know it's just the beginning. We've set up a direct line so that you can be part of this journey. You can reach out to us at any time at podcast@fabricsalon.com. Just a reminder that that's fabric with a K. I want this podcast to be more than just something that you want to listen to. I want it to be interactive, a real conversation, a place where you can ask things that you may not feel comfortable asking anywhere else. If you're dealing with something hard at work and you want to know how I'd handle that as a salon owner, ask me. I'll talk about it on the podcast. If you're wondering what kind of bank account to open for your business or how to apply for a loan to launch your dream salon, send me the question. I'll answer it here, on air, and as honestly and clearly as I can. Jenny and I are so passionate about education and this incredible industry that we get to be a part of. We're constantly talking about how we can support and uplift each other and other artists. This podcast is one of the ways that we want to do that. We want this to be a space where hair artists at every stage of their career can feel welcome and seen and supported. Here's the thing. When two or more people come together with the same passion, they create energy. And we're here to build big energy, really big energy. I want the rest of the country to look at Montana not just as a beautiful state, but as the home of some of the most creative, driven, and successful hair artists out there. So as you explore these first few episodes, I hope they help you get to know both Fabric and Mirror, Jenny, I, and all the artists at the salon. I hope they make you feel connected with our culture and our hearts. And if you want to connect with us personally, you can find us on Instagram at mirror.extension.lounge and at Fabric Salon Missoula. Jenny is at Heroine Chic, HAIROINECHIC. We'll aim to keep each episode between 30 and 45 minutes because I know you've got guests to serve foils to pull and lives to live. But I hope this podcast becomes part of your weekly rhythm and even maybe part of one of your favorite rituals. More than anything, I hope that we can create something beautiful together, a true community of artists who are here to grow, connect, and dream big. Before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart. If you've made it this far in the episode, it means the world to me. So much time, energy, love, and yes, a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears have gone into this podcast. Launching Beyond the Shears in the 406 has been a dream years in the making. And the fact that you're here listening to the very first episode means that you're already part of something special. My hope is that this grows into a true community, a gathering place for artists, dreamers, educators, and entrepreneurs who want to be inspired, supported, and seen. You might have heard of Tyler Zed. He started with memes and built a movement. That's the kind of energy I want to have here, a place where we can laugh, learn, share ideas, and grow something bigger than ourselves. I haven't decided on a hard release schedule yet, but we'll be publishing new episodes each week. To give each episode the best chance to be seen and heard, we'll be releasing every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time, just in time for your morning routine or your drive to the salon. And remember, this is a two-way conversation. I want to hear from you. So if there's a topic you want us to dive into, a question you want answered, or even a challenge you're facing at work, I'm here for it. You can always email us at podcast@fabricsalon.com or send me a direct message on Instagram. That's a wrap for today. Keep showing up, keep learning, and keep making the world a more beautiful place, one head of hair at a time.